Welcome to Parklawn Community Garden, especially if the 2021 season will be your first with us. I'm Marcus.harton, one of Parklawn's 2 volunteer liaisons with the county. Susan Nerlinger is the other. I'll link our email addresses along with other garden documents in the description below. We do orientations because gardening here is not the same as gardening in your backyard. At Parklawn, you're part of a community, and bluntly, the community is counting on you to do your part to the others. When someone lets weeds go wild, it's everyone's problem. Same for insects, on and on. The county does inspections throughout the summer. Violations are noted and gardeners have a period of time to correct them. Failure to comply results in the loss of a plot. A number of you have plots now because last year's gardener did just that. Watch for a groups.io message from Susan that goes into detail about the terms of use, the rules of the road at Parklawn. We have 40 plots here, numbered 1 through 45. When the garden was first laid out, someone lost count. Plots 21 through 25 do not exist. We are an organic garden. Your insect, disease, and weed control must be organic. OMRI-listed products and other natural methods are approved. Organic fertilizers are preferred. The main gate stays locked when nobody is in the garden. It's your responsibility to lock it when you leave the garden. You might want to lock the gate behind you after you enter the garden. That's fine, and most people do it. If you leave the gate open, though, and non-gardeners come in, you will have to ask them to leave with you so you can lock the gate when it's time for you to go. Sometimes non-gardeners want to bring kids in to use the playground. I've never had a problem asking people to leave with me when the time came to go. We once had a large group of people come in and have a get-together under the shelter, and that should not have happened. The Parks Department does not approve any activity other than gardening within the chain link fence at Parklawn. The park closes at sundown. If you garden into the evening, you may want to make sure you have your phone or a little flashlight on your keychain. The numbers on the padlock are difficult to read in broad daylight and extremely difficult to read in low light. Please don't share the padlock combination with anyone who does not garden with you in your plot. That's the first gate you go through to get into Parklawn, but we've got more.
There are 2 gates surrounding the garden itself. Keep them latched when you're not passing through. Do not leave them unlocked for your convenience or for your children's convenience. If they need help getting through the gate, give it to them yourself. Those gates are our only defense against groundhogs, which are a chronic problem at Parklawn. The groundhogs will go through an unlatched gate even with people in the garden. Please don't be the gardener who makes it easy for them to get into a plot. They can trash a plot in short order. Almost every year we are chosen by nesting yellow jackets, burrowing wasps that live underground. They often dig an entrance hole along a fence line. If you see a hole in the ground with wasps coming and going, stay away from them. Let Susan or me know about it. The Parks Department has a pest control contractor who removes nests, and they take yellow jacket reports seriously. The cistern stores water for the garden. Some comes from the shelter roof. In dry weather, we supplement that with city water. A few of us have keys to the water door of the shelter where the fill hose is. It's unusual for the cistern to run dry, but if you find it empty, send Susan and me a note. The Parks Department installs a water meter in the spring and takes it away in the fall. They shut off the city water to keep the pipes from freezing. We disable the cistern for the same reason, to prevent freeze damage. We leave the valves open to allow water from the shelter roof to flow through. When the threat of freezing weather is past and after the city water is turned back on, we'll close those valves and start providing water. We'll post to the garden email group when we start using the cistern in the spring and when we stop using it in the fall. If you need water while the cistern is out of service, you'll have to bring your own from home. To turn the cistern on, you have to open two valves, a big ball valve and one of the little hose taps. When you're through with water, turn them both off. When the ball valve is in line with the white pipe, it is open. When it's perpendicular, it is closed. That's another responsibility when you are the last gardener to leave. Take a look and make sure all the cistern valves are closed. The water hose runs down the central pathway of the garden. There are Y connectors at intervals. Connect your own hose to the open side of the Y to get water into your plot. Pressure varies from fair to poor. Only one of us can draw water at a time. When two people try it, neither gets sufficient flow. When you're the only one around, that's no problem. But when there are several people who need water, we have to water cooperatively. If someone is already watering, wait until they're done. When you are watering, don't keep the next gardener waiting more than 15 minutes for their turn. If you need more than 15 minutes of water, you'll have to wait until your turn rolls around again.
We get wood chips and compost from the county. The wood chips are a fairly reliable resource. When we ask for more, we usually get more in fairly short order. That's not always the case with compost. And because compost is a limited resource, don't hog it. It's not unusual for us to have to wait some time between loads of compost. So use what you need, but be mindful of not taking more than your share. If you are filling a new raised bed or have some other project that needs a lot of compost, bring in your own. We use the chips all over the garden to cover pathways and the perimeter. And while we're on the subject of chips, you are responsible for chipping the pathway outside your plot. When you've pulled a bunch of weeds or taken some plant material out of your plot, they go here. The debris pile at the bottom of the playground hill is only for things that grew in your plot. Not plastic, not rope, not wood from the hardware store, not seedling containers, just plant material. This pile gets hauled away, ground up, and is returned to us as compost. Non-plant material harms the grinder and degrades the compost. When the grinder breaks, it interrupts our source of compost. Other trash from your plot is your responsibility. If it's small items or even something big like landscape timbers, there is no trash service provided by the county. Take care of it yourself. Bag it up, take it home, put it out with your household trash. It is fine to store your tools under the shelter. Mark everything with your name and plot number. Gardeners know not to use anything with someone else's name on it. It is only okay to use someone else's tools when you have their express permission to do so. There are tools and wheelbarrows for all of us to use, and they are marked PCG for Parklawn Community Garden. PCG equipment is fine for community use. Let Susan or me know if you find something broken that needs attention. You should know we've had wheelbarrows stolen from under the shelter in the past. We've also had occasional reports of hand tools being taken from plots. So factor that into your decision about which tools to leave at the garden and which to take home. Each of us is obligated to contribute 8 hours of work to the community. Last year, under quarantine, we did not conduct our customary in-person spring and fall community work sessions. Instead, gardeners reported their service hours they worked individually. Susan and I will keep you posted as this gardening season shapes up about ways you can satisfy your community service requirement. Parklawn is within a Montgomery County park, and we are under the jurisdiction of the Montgomery County Park Police. Their phone number is posted on the bulletin board in the shelter. Call them if you need help. It's not unusual to see park police in the parking lot. Sometimes they come through on patrol, other times they stop to do paperwork or have lunch or whatever. Let Susan or me know if there's something going on that concerns you, or if there's something you need. We're not possessed of any particular authority. We're gardeners like you, but we're connected to the county and know where to look for help. Let us know if something comes up during the season that impacts your ability to keep up with your plot. If we can offer help, we will. And you would not be watching this if you had not seen the link in the group's I.O. email list. We will use that list to let everybody know what's up in the garden. It's also there for you to post. If you have a question, ask the community. It's a pretty neat resource. And one last plea from Susan and me: read the conditions of use. We are used to blasting past Apple terms of use documents, but get familiar with these. Everything on it is important and pretty much there for a reason. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. Take care, have a great year in the garden, and smash that like button. Just kidding. Thank you. Bye.